Hi, good evening, folks. In this video, we're going to take a look more into the CBA and the legalities of this whole jack mess coming up. Okay, I wanted to go a little in depth with this with you guys because some people might be having questions and so on about the legalities or just what we're up against, you know, with this whole silly mess. And guys, this is just going to be a bit of hold on, let me get this out of here. This is going to be just a bit of a long one, but it'll be more of a video reference if you want to come back and look at certain parts of the mess we're in and what we're looking at and so on. So I'll tell you what, let's go into it right now. Okay, so you can see CBA 34.4 in its entirety with the following. A player must seek a second medical opinion regarding a diagnosis made by a team physician or a course of treatment, including the time thereof, prescribed by the team physician. That would be the SMO, the second medical opinion, from a list of medical specialists with outstanding reputations and experience in their area of expertise, and may be evidenced by 1, a strong publication, presentation and/or lecture record in the relevant area of expertise. 2, a record of superior performance and knowledge in his or her principal area of clinical practice. Or 3, substantial experience in the provision of clinical care to elite athletes as agreed upon by the joint HNS committee. That's the second medical opinion list. And HNS would be health and safety, I'm assuming. The medical specialists on the second medical opinion list shall be listed by specialty and by geographic region. All right, so the joint and HS committee shall review and update the second medical opinion list on an annual basis, and shall have the ability to remove any second medical opinion physicians from the second medical opinion list at any time if there exists a serious basis for doing so, including credible concerns regarding a second medical opinion physician's integrity, bias, motivation, professionalism, conflict of interest, qualifications, or repeatedly inability to promptly provide a verbal and written report to the player and to the player's NHL club. So as you can see, it's already getting messy with this, right? Let's continue. If the joint HNS committee is unable to agree upon the selection or removal of a physician from the second medical opinion list, the matter shall be referred to by the panel of experts, that's a POE I'm going to refer to, as described in subsections 34.9 for review and recommendation. The POE shall issue a written recommendation to the joint HNS committee as to whether or not a physician should be selected or removed from the second medical opinion list within 60 days of the date referral. The joint HNS committee shall conduct a vote whether to accept or reject the POE recommendation within 30 days of its issuance, unless a majority of the members of the joint HNS committee vote to reject the POE recommendation. The POE recommendation shall continue the final and binding determination of the joint HNS committee. And that's a mouthful so far. All right, so looking at this, all right, just from the get-go, it's trouble. It's trouble. You can you could tell. I've done enough reading on not this kind of stuff, but other stuff I've had to read in my life legally to know when they're trying to get you confused and they're trying to just, you know, put a mandate of confusion and frustration out on the table, because this can mean so many things. All right, let's look at this. Okay, here we go. Replace in its entirety the current CBA subsection 34.1 with the following. The NHLPA acting on a player's behalf may submit a complaint regarding a violation of the standard of care as set out in CBA subsections 34.1 and B to the JHSC for determination. The determination of any such complaint shall be in accordance with the provisions set out in the procedures governing standard of care complaints, annexed hereto as to Exhibit XX. Now this is it, Exhibit XX, procedures governing standard of care complaints. My God, this is confusing. All right, here we go. The complaint and answer. A complaint may be initiated by the NHLPA on behalf of a player regarding a violation of the standard of care as set out in the CBA subsections 34.1A and B, hereinafter standard of care, by filing a written complaint as described herein. B, the complaint must be served within 60 days from the date of the incident or event upon which the complaint is based, or within 60 days from the date of which the facts of the matter became known or reasonably should have been known to the player, whichever is later. C, the complaint shall be served upon person and or club that the NHLPA alleges has violated the standard of care and legal department of the NHL. D, the complaint will identify the party against whom the complaint is made, a brief statement setting out the basis upon which the allegation of a violation of the standard of care is being brought, the material facts which the complaint is based, and the remedy that is sought. That's kind of where we're at right now. And E, the party served with the complaint will answer in writing within 30 days of receipt of the complaint. The answer will include a response to each of the allegations made in the complaint. I'll stop there for a sec. Now my guess is that's where we responded to them. They were expecting us most likely, I'm guessing, I'm just speculating, that most likely when they were getting our response, right? And they said, remember there was that you guys might remember there was that thing about that it looked like there's going to be a resolution, and of course some Sabres fans just took it as Jack's coming back. No, they were talking about this. And what was happening with that is they were probably just assuming we're going to be on board with them. Let's continue. Okay, number 2, submission to the panel of experts. That's the POE. In case you're going to see that POE once in a while. That's panel of experts. Upon receipt of the answer, the parties will refer the matter to the panel of experts described in the CBA subsection 34.9 and shall promptly provide the POE with the complaint and the answer. The parties, along with the POE, will set a hearing date. The parties shall engage disclosure statements in the matter described below, which disclosure statements shall not be shared with the POE. The party bearing the burden of presenting its case shall not submit to the other party a disclosure statement at least 45 days before the scheduled date of the hearing. Not that that matters, to be honest. The responding party will provide to the other party a responsive statement at least 25 days before the scheduled date of the hearing. Disclosure statement shall contain the following information. At the bottom, you'll see A, statement of the issue or issues. B, factual background. C, theory of the case, as we keep hearing over and over. That's what we're hearing a lot. D, witnesses' names. And E, documents the party intends to rely on or submit as exhibits, which documents will be attached to the disclosure statement. Now, as you can see, as this goes along, these things just get messy, and this is what happens with, let's face it, with a lot of things that are legal. As we all know, this is something where you go, oh, Jesus, just get me a lawyer. I don't want to deal with any of this. And it starts to make a little sense here at the end, guys. So just bear with me here. All right, let's continue here. Okay, C, disclosure statements are to be provided with the purpose and intent of fully apprising the other party and disclosing party's case to avoid surprise. In the event an issue arises as to the sufficiency of a party's disclosure statement, the disclosure statement may be provided to the POE in connection with the resolution of that issue. If both parties agree, disclosure statement shall not preclude either party from raising additional arguments or additional later discovered facts in any subsequent pre-hearing disclosure statement or POE hearing. D, it is intended that witnesses appear at the POE hearing. The parties shall each use their best efforts to require witnesses to appear at the scheduled hearing. If a witness is unavailable, the party offering the witness shall notify the other party as soon as the unavailability of the witness is known. If the parties agree, the witness may testify by video conference or by telephone. If the parties do not agree, a hearing date shall be selected for the purpose of taking the witness's testimony. E, and I know full fact about D right there, about the video conference. Yes, that is very commonly actually used now in a court of law. Well, not that this is exactly that, but I'm just saying that it's very commonly used now. It is. People now can actually, testify by video. All right, E, the hearing location will be determined by the parties and the POE together. Notwithstanding and foregoing, the parties agree to hold hearings and the geographic location of the complainant player if he is going to testify as a witness at the hearing, if necessary to accommodate his NHL team's playing season schedule. And F, if at any time prior to the commencement of the hearing or before the issuance of the POE's opinion, the chair and the POE considers that the assistance or advice of independent counsel is required on a question of law or procedure that is relevant to the conduct of the hearing, including attendance at the hearing in order to assist in procedural matters, the chair will be permitted to retain and consult with counsel of his or her choice for that purpose. Any associated legal cost will be shared equally by both parties. I don't think money's the issue, right? It's not. I don't think, we just don't want the headaches, And, okay, let's go on. Okay, G, within 30 days of the conclusion of the hearing, the POE will issue a written opinion, which is the POE opinion, as to whether there was a violation of the standard of care. Now, this is where it gets important, set out in the CBA section 34.1. The POE opinion shall set out the POE's determination as to whether the standard of care has been violated and provide its reasons for such determination. The POE opinion shall identify any documents or witnesses relied upon in the POE's determination. The POE opinion shall not include a remedy, rather it must only set out whether a violation occurred. And H, the POE opinion as to whether a violation occurred shall be final, binding, and shall not be subject to arbitral or judicial review. And we're almost done here, guys, but this is what Adams is dealing with, He's not just dealing with some guys that are going public and, just trying to make a nuisance of this whole thing. He's basically going against the grain that these guys are basically on the side, threatening to go all the way with this at their end too, I'm sure. All right, now let's go look at if we have to go to an arbitrator. All right, let's look into this now. And 3, submission to the impartial arbitrator for remedy. A, if the POE's opinion was that the standard and care was violated, the POE opinion shall be provided to the impartial arbitrator who shall determine the appropriate remedy for such violation, including the insurance to make whole remedy if appropriate. The impartial arbitrator shall be provided a copy of the POE opinion and the POE record and shall include any transcripts, documents, and exhibits considered by the POE. B, if the impartial arbitrator considers that the record is insufficient for the purpose of the insurance of a remedy, He may request that parties submit such affidavit over another documentary evidence and or written submissions as he or she considers appropriate. The impartial arbitrator shall not hold a hearing. C. The impartial arbitrator shall issue the remedy in writing and provide it to the parties within 30 days of receipt of the POE opinion, or if additional evidence or submissions were received within 30 days of their receipt. The impartial arbitrator's determination of a remedy shall be based solely on the information contained in the POE opinion and the POE record and any additional evidence and submissions received from the parties. The impartial arbitrator shall not draft a written opinion with his or her explanation of the remedy. His or her determination shall be limited to the nature of the remedy itself. And what we all want here, D, the impartial arbitrator's remedy shall be final, binding, and not subject to judicial review. So yes, as much as that is a mouthful, okay, these kind of things can get very messy, is my point of this video. And it's not as simple as us saying, well, we're just not doing it and that's it. There's all sorts of like areas that Jack and his camp can cause and stir and all sorts of things, you know. But if we hold pat, you know, because no matter what, you heard early in all this, our opinion was really the main opinion. Now, I want to look at something else here and put this up. Also, one last thing, this is small, mind you. See, they also, what you just heard in all that, they have all the leverage in determining that Eichel should have that surgery. Section 34.4 of the CBA gives team physicians the final call on diagnosis or course of treatment after taking into consideration the player's preferences and any second opinion. And really, that's that. You know, like this can get ugly. Yes. This can drag out. Yes. Because the CBA, as clear as it is, if you see it the way I see it, there's tons of like options for loopholes all over the place to like extend this and drag it out and make it messy. And, you know, we're going to have to make a decision here, I think. And, because it's as simple as this. I mean, if we let Jack have this surgery, I haven't even read your comments yet, guys. By the way, I haven't yet, so I don't know where you all stood on that. But if we did let him have the surgery, we can avoid all this mess. This is the thing, you know? And it's just, but you know what? My own personal thing, okay, my own personal that I went through is I fought through all that kind of crap and won in the end. So, I don't know. I just don't know. My own personal opinion is sometimes as messy and bleak as it looks and confusing and headache and drama and all that. Sometimes there's, you know, there's a rainbow at the end of it. There is. So I don't know. I can't see us losing. That's for sure. But do we win by dragging it out is the question, guys. That's the question. Do we win by dragging this? You know? And you know what? We just have to respect the fact where Adam stands with this and that he's read all this and he knows all this and he's had meetings on all this and they broke it down because you have to break this stuff down paragraph by paragraph to make sure you're doing everything right or else they can come back at you. What a mess. What a mess. All right, guys, let's kill it there. We're enough of the Jack drama with this one. I want to do another video. And I got to get the dogs out, and then I'm going to get on all those comments tonight. But you guys are leaving for me, so I'm sorry I'm behind, but I'm home tonight, so I'm definitely going to be on them. I'll see you in the next video.